Didn't think there'd be many more of these videos to make, but apparently I was wrong. Well, wrong-ish. I don't even know how wrong I was. I don't even care. Well, in today's video, we're going to be telling the story of Martha's Swain. The story of two lovers caught in the Civil War. Obviously, they both died. It wouldn't be a tragic story unless somebody did. But anyways, making a video on this was suggested by a viewer of mine known as Sean Sutherland, so much appreciated. Anyways, let's dive right into the tragic story of Martha's Swain. Honestly sounds like Christian Bale Batman saying his mother's name. You will find this shack tucked away just west of Ansburg in the East Grizzlies. It's not difficult to get to per se, but you won't be able to just take off from the trail and get there. You'll have to find your way up around the rocks. So I personally recommend approaching this shack from the north. When you arrive, you will find this lonely looking shack in the woods. This is the location marked as Martha's Swain. So why don't you head on inside? Maybe you'll be able to warm your feet up by the fire, maybe you'll be offered some food by the occupant. However, I get the feeling this one's not very talkative, as when you enter the shack you're immediately met by the skeletal remains of a woman. Courtesy of the location's name, I'm going to assume that this is Martha. Quite obviously, she is seshed out on the floor. Obviously, this is a skeleton, so she's dead, and nobody else in the world knows it besides from us now. Because if they did, she would not still be laying on her floor, where she died ages ago by the looks of it. The question is, how did she die? There's no obvious injuries as there's no blood stains on the clothing. Maybe she choked to death on a potato. Maybe she killed herself. Who cares? Let's leave her to her nap and have a look around her house. There's plenty of things to find in the house, such as jewellery and a cigarette card for example, but the most important thing is this letter on the desk by her corpse. Obviously I ransacked the house first, but why don't we read this letter to see what it says. August 17th, 1864. My dearest Martha, I miss you so much. Life makes sense when we are together. This war no longer makes sense to me. When I signed up, oh it seems like 1,000 lifetimes ago, everything seemed so simple. We were going to express our rights as states to do as we goddamn well pleased and hang whatever any fools in the north told us. I cannot believe now that this was a principle I would die for, and yet it is a principle I have seen so many men I grew up with be slaughtered for. That and their own stupid pride. We southerners are such proud fools. Now I am only proud about one thing. The love I share with you. You, a Yankee, an abolitionist, everything I am supposed to hate and now love so dear. How can you love me back when I am such a fool? I cannot wait for this war to end. I've thought many times about running away, but General Harris has taken to shooting deserters. I am still too proud to allow for that. It seems we are heading towards an enemy camp in Scarlet Meadows for one last battle. We have almost no chance of winning, our morale is almost entirely spent and the Yankees are far too strong. But after the accusations of cowardice levelled against General Harris for his failure to support General Quinn last month and all of that drama, he seems hell-bent on a fight. I even overheard Major Smith complaining in the officers' mess about General Harris. None of his junior officers trust him very much anymore. I hope I do not die. Not because I care two figs for myself, but because of the sadness it would bring you. I miss you. Yours, Garfield. Now I'm imagining things didn't pan out so great for our boy Garfield since his lover's literally lying on the floor dead where she's remained for 30 plus to 40 plus years. However, he does mention a battle that we can actually go ahead and visit the site of in the game since it's near Scarlet Meadows. That site of course being Bolger Glade. Is it Bolger or Bolger? I honestly do not care. Either way, it's a bit south of Rhodes and just a bit east of Braithwaite Manor, not remotely difficult to find. Before we head over there though, let's take a look at one last thing. It's nothing major, but if you take a photograph of the scene that you are met with in this house and then check it on the Rockstar Club thing, it will be captioned Civil War Bride. Doesn't tell us anything that we don't already know, but it is a unique caption for this location. Anyways, let's go down to Bolger Glade. When you arrive, there may be a few pillocks that need dispatching, but that shouldn't be too difficult. The landscape seems to still be devastated by the battle that took place 4 decades ago. Death reeks in the air. Wait, no, that's just my basement. Evidently, this was a very bloody battle as even the landscape did not survive. Can we find any trace of Garfield here? And sure enough, tied and pined to a tree, there's a dead soldier with a sign pinned to him that brands him as a traitor. Could this be our Garfield? Well, he's not fat, he's not orange, he's not a cat, and he's not scranning lasagna. Wrong Garfield? Fair enough. He does, however, have a letter on him. A letter from none other than Martha. I just realised they're both really going for that matching skeleton look. Why don't we get nosy and give it a read? October 8th, 1864. Darling Garfield, I hope this letter reaches you before the battle of which you spoke. How dare you talk of getting yourself killed, you silly, proud, wonderful man. There is nothing finer than someone who can grow and develop and let go of old prejudices and lies, and that is the man you are. And that is why I love you so, but at the same time you are a pig-headed, stubborn barbarian. Run away from the battle, stop fighting and come to me. The war is over. Do not get yourself killed for a silly general's desire to prove he is not a coward. Be a coward for all I care and run away. Come to me here, I am waiting for you. All my love, Martha. God damn it, Martha. So, Garfield obviously followed Martha's advice and decided to desert, which is why he's now impaled by a bayonet on the end of a rifle to a tree, and branded the reputation of a traitor to boot. Obviously, General Harris caught him and had him executed for deserting. And as it turns out, despite sustaining heavy casualties, General Quincy Harris managed to actually succeed and obtain victory for the Confederates at the Battle of Scarlet Meadows. Garfield could have survived the battle. This is your fault, Martha. You lay there and think about that for a while. In fact, I'd imagine she probably did something along those lines which resulted in her laying dead here. Since I can't see any injuries, I'd imagine she probably poisoned herself, or something along those lines after finding out that her betrothed had died in the battle, or more accurately, before the battle. Now, Ape Brain me didn't think to take a picture of the final resting place of Garfield, but what's the betting that it either says nothing or Civil War Groom, since Martha's said Civil War Bride. I could easily just fire the game back up and find out, but I don't think it's really relevant. However, there is one last thing that the comment suggesting that I go ahead and check this out mentioned, which is a grave in the swamp, the bayou. Dear God. So here we are in the swamp, my favourite place ever, yay! So we just want to be a little bit northeast of Le Gras, which is a small little fishing town in the bayou. It's probably more accurately described as a village, but I don't really care. Anyways, when we arrive, this is what we're looking for, a gravestone that is marked with the name Martha. I'm going to shoot this one down quickly because obviously this is in memory of a different Martha altogether. Because, look at it logically, if this was about the Martha that we found in her cabin, she wouldn't be lying in her cabin 40 years after she died. I'd argue that this gravestone is that of someone who's more involved with the bayou, like somebody from Le Gras. That's enough of this swamp, it's been a pleasure, farewell. So I guess this is just another tragic story for us to find in the world of Red Dead Redemption 2. Honestly, it works for me, but let me know what you think about this down in the comment section. So, thank you all for watching this video, I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to go ahead, leave a like, subscribe, share the channel with your friends and all that wonderful stuff, and I'll see you all very soon with another video at some point.